Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. The Israelites have been scattered across the four corners of the earth, as prophesied in Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter. Here at Israel United in Christ, we need your help to recover the remnant of our people, teach them the gospel. Please help us, support us, and join or donate to the Booster Club today. Shalom.
All praise to the Most High. Once again, happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath. I said happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath, everybody. So, all right, what is the big thing in the world right now? What's going on in the world right now that everybody freaking out about? Brother in the back. Stand up, stand up. The coronavirus, okay. So, when stuff like this is going on, one thing we have to understand as God-chosen people, we got to understand where we at in time, all right? Where we at on the timeline of God, all right? Give me Luke chapter 12, verse 54. It's time for us to wake up and realize what time it is. A lot of people don't understand what time it is. Some brothers think it's time to get mad at a brother, you know what I'm saying, because he didn't look you in the eye when you said shalom. Some sisters think it's time to get mad at the sister because, you know, that's the only sister that didn't respond to your Telegram post. Some sisters think it's time to get mad at a sister because she deleted a Facebook memory. You know what I'm saying? Do we really know what time it is? It's time for us to really understand what time it is. Read what you got. Luke 12, verse 54.
The book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 54. And he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is.
So Christ is saying, y'all can tell when it's finna rain. Just like, you know what I'm saying, you step outside, you see a bunch of black clouds, it's cloudy. You know it's finna rain. And then it rained. You know, you were able to figure that out. Read.
And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass.
Just like now, we see that winter is passing, spring is coming. We see that it's finna start being hot. And every year we right, it start getting hot. Read.
Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky.
So you can tell what the weather gonna look like according to what you see in the sky, read.
And of the earth. But how is it that ye do not discern this time?
How can you figure out what the weather gonna be like, but you can't figure out what time you in? You don't understand what times we living in. It's time for us to wake up and understand what time it is. Go to Romans 13 and 11. Romans 13, verse 11.
The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11. And that, knowing the time.
Knowing the what?
Knowing the time.
Read.
That now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
So right now is the time to awake out of sleep. Why? Read.
For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Because our salvation is near. We finna be saved from Babylon the Great, which is America. Our salvation is near. So, when it says awake to righteousness, I just jumped the gun. When it say awake, what is it saying? Because You got people on the internet and stuff talking about they woke, you know what I'm saying, because they watch some slave movies or something and they know, you know what I'm saying, the white man is our oppressor. But are they really woke? What does it really mean to be woke? How do you know you are awake? Anybody in the crowd? Upstairs a cat. Right. That's how you know you woke. What's the precept, though? What's the precept, man? You know you can't stand up and get no answer without no precept. Just run. All right, let's get that. So it say, awake because your salvation is nearer than you believe. So we have to know the time. It's time to awake. Read what you got. 1 Corinthians 15:34.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 34. Awake to righteousness and sin not.
So it's time, it's high time to awake out of sleep, meaning what? Stop sinning. Awake to righteousness, which is the commandments of God. Read.
For some have not the knowledge of God.
Because everybody don't understand what we understand. So it's high time that we awake out of sleep. It's high time that we awake to righteousness. That's what time it is. It's time for us to be saved out of our captivity. The only way we're going to get saved is if we would, keeping the commandments of God. From there, Romans 8, verse 19. So, like I said, I want us to understand where we are in time. And God is real plain, you know, once you keep the commandments, get the understanding. He make it plain what times we in. And we going to show y'all today. Romans 8, verse 19.
The book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature.
The earnest expectation of the creature is going into the planet Earth. So the whole entire Earth is waiting on something. Their expectation to get refreshed, stop being oppressed, stop getting these chemtrails and GMOs and all of that. It's waiting on something, read.
Waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God.
So the whole entire planet Earth is waiting on the Israelites to wake up. Y'all understand that? So the end of time is awaiting our awakening. The end of time, the end of this world is waiting on our awakening. All right, from there, go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 8. So the end of time is waiting on our awakening. So, you know, hey, we waking up every day. You see, you know what I'm saying, somebody else talking about, you know, with fringes on, talking about shalom, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. You see our people waking up. Daniel chapter 12, verse 8.
The book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things?
So this is the prophet Daniel. The Most High God showed Daniel a lot of signs and wonders. He showed him all this stuff happening, but Daniel didn't have a complete understanding of what he saw. He like, Lord, expound. You know what I'm saying? Let me know exactly what this means. When is all these things going to come to pass? Read.
And he said, Go thy way, Daniel.
He said, Daniel, no, it's not for me to tell you right now. Read.
For the words are closed up and sealed till the end of until the time of the end.
So the words are closed up and sealed to the times of the end. The words is talking about the scriptures. God said the Bible, the understanding of the Bible is going to be sealed to the times of the end. So let me ask y'all something. Before y'all heard of the Israelites, you know what I'm saying, teaching a true understanding of the Bible, was there ever a true understanding of the Bible? No. We used to ask pastors, you know what I'm saying, sometimes like, hey, what this mean in Revelation? Because, you know, they say, you know, God loved everybody, God so loved the world and all of that. But when you read Revelation, it's all bloody and death and, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, something ain't adding up. Pastor, what this mean? It's sealed. They literally tell their congregants that and been doing it for hundreds of years. God told Daniel that the Bible was going to be sealed to the time of the end. Jump down to verse 13.
Daniel chapter 12 and verse 13. But go thou thy way till the end be.
So he told Daniel, go your way to the end be, to the end time, to the end days. Read.
For thou shalt rest.
Right, you going to rest. The prophets ain't going to be in the earth for a while. Read.
And stand in the lot at the end of the days.
But you're going to stand in your lot at the end of the days. What was Daniel's lot? Another word for lot is job or occupation. What was Daniel's lot? Anybody know? Like, what was he doing? Like, what was his duty to the nation? Brother David.
I think he was a eunuch or nah, that ain't right. Nah.
Stop, don't overthink. No, stay up. Don't overthink it. What was Daniel? Why do he got a book?
He was a prophet.
He was a prophet. That's it.
Oh, okay.
You see, you know, yeah. So Daniel was a prophet. So God is telling Daniel, you're going to stand in your light at the end of days, meaning you're going to be prophesying in the last days. So when the words of this book are unsealed, who gonna bring out the true understanding? The who? The prophets. So if the world waiting on our awakening, right, and the prophets is going out giving a true understanding to the people, that means that the end is what? Is very near. We got what? IUIC 365. We on year 2 or 3, right? Yeah, so we have what, 720 something, 800 something days straight every day preaching the gospel to the earth, waking up the people. We are the prophets that the Most High sending back in these last days. We been here before. Now we back. When the prophets come back, they mean the word is finna end. Y'all understand that? All right, from there. Let's go to 2 Ezra 6, verse 7. So just some basic understanding, you know what I'm saying, to know what time we in. Now, what I'm finna do is I really want y'all to hold on to this this kind of simile that the Most High doing right here. He used like birth, like a pregnant woman, you know what I'm saying, birth and stuff like that throughout the scriptures concerning prophecy. So I want y'all to pay close attention, all right? Read what you got.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 7.
Now, when you read the book of 2nd Ezra, the Most High, this man Ezra had a lot of questions concerning the end times. So the Most High revealed a lot of things to Ezra, if not all things. He revealed a lot of things to Ezra. So watch this, a question that Ezra had, and the Most High gonna answer it through his angel. Read what you got.
Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth?
So Ezra asks, what's gonna be the thing that start, that end this world and start the new world, meaning the kingdom? What's gonna be this sign? What's gonna be the end of days, right? Read.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
So notice, to answer his question concerning the end of the world, he go to a birth, right? A birth situation. So who remember this birth that he quoting right here? It says, when Jacob and Esau were born, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Coda. Yasharala. Hold on.
You want me to give you the verse?
No, just tell me.
It talks about when Esau came out first and he took the hill of
They had one. Jacob took the hill of Esau.
Yeah.
But they was what?
2 different nations.
What was they at that time in her stomach?
They was in Genesis at the beginning.
They was twins.
Twins.
So she was
Okay.
pregnant with twins, remember? Now, let me
Okay.
ask you this. What was going on when they was in her stomach?
A lot of stuff going on. They was going against each other.
Okay, so how did she feel?
Feel pain.
She felt a lot of pain. A lot of pain. All right, you can sit down now. So, yeah, keep this in mind. So, he answering Ezra's question. What's going to be the sign of the end of the first world and the beginning of the new world, which is Israel? So, he's showing them, remember, in that birth, when Rebecca was pregnant, and she was like, well, Lord, why this hurt so bad in my stomach? He's saying that their birth represent the end of the world and the beginning of his kingdom. All right, so read verse 8 again.
Verse 8, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau.
Uh-huh.
For Esau is the end of the world.
So he revealing the mystery. You know, I'm pretty sure, like, throughout ages, you know what I'm saying, the Israelites was kind of like wondering, like, what was that about? Like, why did he hold on to Esau hill? So he revealed to him what that was about. Esau is the end of the world, read.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. That's why Jacob came out after Esau. Y'all understand that? Okay. So, who is Esau? Brother in the back. Say your name again for me, bro. Billy. All right, Billy. Who is Esau?
White man.
The what?
The white man.
The so-called white man. So it said the so-called white man is the end of the world. Meaning what? What does that mean? You got another answer? Oh, brother, on fire. What's the, all right?
I'm hoping I'm saying it. Esau is the end of the world. That means our world is beginning.
Okay, but when it say Esau is the end of the world, that means what?
I don't know.
Who can help him out? Who know where I'm getting at? Brother David.
So basically, when you see Esau ruling the world, know that that's when the end is about to come.
Right, so the last rulership before God's kingdom is going to be the kingdom of the Edomites. Everybody understand? Esau will be ruling the earth before the end of the world. They're going to be the last ruling kingdom on this earth. He just revealed that to Esdras. So are y'all with me so far? Okay, from there, go to Revelations 11 and 8.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
So when it say their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, who is that talking about? Brother Jeshurun.
It's talking about us, the Israelites.
Right, so why it say dead bodies? We all just going to be dead?
Nah, we were spiritually dead.
Spiritually dead. What precept?
Proverbs 28.
No, sir. Officer Raphael.
Proverbs 21:16.
All right, is you there? No.
No.
I was finna say read it real quick. Read it real quick, John.
Proverbs 21.
Okay.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 16.
I want to make sure everybody understand. All right, read.
The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
So God said when you don't have the true understanding of who you are, the laws, the commandments, you are spiritually dead. You alive per se, but you are spiritually dead. So go back to Revelations 11 and 8.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
So our people will be spiritually dead in this great city, right?
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Which spiritually is Sodom and Egypt. What nation on this earth legalized gay marriage? Brother Billy. Right, the United States of America. All right, so what other nation on this earth had all 12 tribes of Israel in slavery besides Egypt? Soldier Ezekiel. You good, just said. Also America. So America is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Read on.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
So where was the Lord crucified? Billy. Right, in Jerusalem. So this place is spiritually Sodom, Egypt, and Jerusalem. So the same place where homosexuality is, the same place where the 12 tribes of Israel in slavery, and the same place where the prophets prophesying to the people, that's where the Israelites are, in a dead estate spiritually. Everybody understand? So now read verse 11.
Verse 11. And after 3 days and in half.
And after what?
After 3 days and in half.
So the dead bodies, meaning the spiritually dead Israelites, gonna be in this land for 3 days and a half. So they gonna be dead spiritually for 3 days and a half. Who can tell me what that means? 3 days and a half. Ezekiel. 350 years. Y'all write that down. So the dead bodies, the spiritually dead Israelites, gonna be spiritually dead for 350 years. 350 years. Y'all write that down. All right, read on.
And after 3 days and in half, the spirit of life from God entered into them.
Right, so after 350 years, the Spirit of God entered into them, read.
And they stood upon their feet.
And they stood on their feet, read.
And great fear fell upon them which saw them.
So after 350 years, the Israelites would start to wake up and stand on their feet. Y'all understand? Y'all with me? I don't think I put it in order. Go to that National Geographic screenshot that we was talking about. I think I left that out of the order, but it's still on there. You see it or you don't see it no more?
Oh, yes, sir, I got it.
Okay.
Hey, so y'all got to think about what time period we in. You know, whenever we start to wake up, that's when you start seeing us as a nation start to rise up. That's when you start seeing all these different movements. You start seeing Nat Turner. You start seeing Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman. This is where you start to see all these different things. The Israelites was already beginning to wake up and stand up on their feet. But now you're seeing this going at a whole different level. That's why we got to make sure we on point.
Jumping the gun. You good.
Hey,
You got it up yet?
Yeah, let's see if this the National Geographic. Look, it's on that screen. This the one you talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
So it says stolen by Portuguese slave traders, kidnapped by English pirates, and taken far from home. African arrivals to colonial Virginia in 1619 marked the origins of U.S. slavery. So the first slave ship with Negroes on it from the west coast of Africa landed in when? What year? 1619. Now, give me the One West article on Wikipedia. Now we back in the order. So remember, it said after 3 days and a half, the dead bodies would start to wake up and stand on their feet. Y'all with me? What is 3 days and a half? 350 years. Now, we're going to read the second paragraph. It says, the founder of the first grouping in the movement was Eber ben Yomin, also known as Abba Bivens, who quit the Judaism-related commandment keepers of Harlem in 1969 to start a group based on the 12 tribes doctrine that had a more negative view of normative Judaism. So he broke off from Judaism. We, black Jewish people to going and teaching the true understanding of the 12 tribes of Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. What year was that when he started teaching that? 1969. So I don't know, I'm not the brightest mathematician in the world. But how long ago from 1969 was 1619 when the first slave ship got here with Negroes? Huh? Exactly 350 years. Exactly 350. Y'all, hey, this stuff this is so faith building. You know what I'm saying? You know God just precise as hell. All right, so 350 years after the first slave ship with Negroes on it, West Virginia, Albert Bivens started teaching the true understanding of who the Israelites are. All right, so now, let's go to Obadiah chapter 1. So we talked about Jacob. Okay, he be spiritually dead 350 years. Then after that, they'll start waking up. That woman, conceive. Okay. All right. Obadiah 1:1. So remember, who is the end of the world? Okay.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom.
So the Most High gave Obadiah, a prophet, a vision of what would happen to Esau. Read.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an
ambassador.
And the ambassador, and the ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
The what?
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
So, the Most High God talking to Edom, he's showing a prophecy concerning Edom. And he said they greatly despise. Although no nation really enjoy the company of the white man. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really likes them. But the pride of their heart deceives them. They are the most prideful people on this planet Earth. They take a lot of pride in raping, robbing, and murdering, and conquering lands and ruling. We was at camp in Pine Bluff this past Thursday. And an Edomite, you know what I'm saying, he was mad because we was teaching the truth or whatever. And so his whole thing was, I never put you in, you ain't never been a slave, and I never been a slave master. But when we got to talking about, you know what I'm saying, history, you know what I'm saying, that's when he got to defending, showing his true colors. No, we conquered this land. Wait. I thought you wasn't a slave man. You never was a slave master. You see what I'm saying? So he revealed that they are that same people. We are our ancestors, point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? But they very prideful. They want to defend their wickedness at all costs. They try to make it seem like it was of God. Read.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
So where do they originate from? Who said that? Stand up. What's your name, big bro? Done where? So, caves. Specifically which ones? The Caucasus Mountains. That is the clefts of the rock. All right, read on.
Whose habitation is high.
Now, where do they dwell at now in America? Where do they always build their big old houses at, and where do they build downtown in these cities? Just from skyscrapers. And where do they be living at?
Mansions.
Like where they be at though?
Like in the mountains.
Like in the mountains and the hills and stuff like that, right? Beverly Hills. What they got out here, North Hills. You know what I'm saying? They love the heights. They love to dwell on high. This is God talking about this thousands of years ago. He already, you know what I'm saying, showing what caliber of people we gonna be dealing with. Read on.
That saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground?
What nation gonna destroy me? This is the attitude of Donald Trump. You know, who gonna destroy America? You know, he speaks very boastfully and pridefully. God said that's how they'll be. Read on.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
As the what?
As the eagle.
What is the emblem or sign of America? The eagle. The eagle. They exalt themselves as the eagle. Read.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
What is this talking about? Billy. Okay. Set your nest among the stars. Nest among the stars. Who else? David, Brother David. He could. Brother David. What is that going into specifically?
Basically, when they landed on the moon, they say the eagle has landed.
When they what?
Landed on the moon.
When they landed on the moon. So read that again, Officer Jonah.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Space travel, landing on the moon. Read.
Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
So the God says, thence will I bring thee down. From that point of you setting your nest among the stars, from thence will I bring you down. Now, give me that article.
1969?
Yes, the screenshot.
Yes, sir.
So, Apollo 11 was the space flight that first landed humans on the moon. Commander Neil Armstrong and lunar module pilot Buzz Aldrin formed the American crew that landed the Apollo lunar module Eagle on July 20th, 1969.
Same year.
All right. So, the same year that the understanding of the 12 tribes of Israel started getting brought out, in 1969 was the same year that they landed their nest among the stars, and God said, from thence will I bring thee down. So, it's showing at that point from 1969, that was the beginning of the end days. Y'all with me? That was the beginning of the last days. All right, from there. Let's go to Ezekiel 37:1. So, God painted a vivid timeline. He give it to us. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. All right, Ezekiel 37:1.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 1. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones.
Right, so the Most High took Ezekiel and took him to a valley of dry bones. Remember, we read in Revelations 11:8 that the Israelites would be what? Spiritually dead. So he's showing Ezekiel a similitude, you know what I'm saying, a valley of dry bones. Read on.
Verse 2. And caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
So the Most High asked Ezekiel, you think these bones can live? You think these dead bodies can arise on their feet? Read.
And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest.
Ezekiel said, you know, because you got to think about it, man. Look, Jake on crack, Jake prostitutes, Jake pimps, Jake robbers, Jake, you know what I'm saying, gang bangers. Jake out of there, been out of there. You know what I'm saying? So Ezekiel was like, you got the, I don't got the answer, Sway. You know what I'm saying? I don't got them. Read.
Verse 4. Again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord.
So the Most High said, look, I'm going to show you something. Prophesy on these bones. Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone.
So at first, when Ezekiel prophesied or whatever on the bones, the first thing the bones did was come together, bone to bone. So before 1969, you had the civil rights movement, you had the NOI with Malcolm X and them, and you had the Black Panther Party in 1966. All of this stuff was before, you know what I'm saying, the true understanding of who we are started coming out. But we began to come together. Everybody with me on the timeline. All right, read.
Verse 8, and when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above.
So upon these bones that started coming together, he saw the flesh come up on these bones. Who can allude to what that's talking about? The flesh came on these bones. Well, let me give it to y'all. What was Abba Bivens teaching? That what? We just read it on the article. What did Jeshurun?
The article said he was teaching the truth that we was the Israelites.
Right, that we was the Israelites. So teaching nationality, you know, that's who you are according to the flesh, right? So these bones was coming together, but they didn't have the true understanding of their true nationality. Then the true understanding of our true nationality started coming out. But read on.
But there was no breath in them.
But there was no breath in them. So they knew who they was. You know what I'm saying? They came together, they knew who they was, but they didn't have no breath in them yet. All right, read on.
Verse 9, then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come from the four winds, O breath, and
because
breathe.
We scattered to the four corners of the earth. So he said, come from the four winds, O breath, read.
And breathe upon these slain, that they may live.
So now the breath is being breathed into them. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 7, verse 22. So let's see what this breath is that put everything together. Because, you know, their bones came together. Now they starting to learn their true nationality. What's next? Read that.
The book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit.
Right, so it says wisdom taught me, and she is an understanding spirit. So it refers to wisdom as a what? A she. A what? A female. Jump down to 25.
Verse 25. For she is the breath.
She is the what?
The breath.
The what?
The breath.
The what?
The breath.
Read.
Of the power of God.
So what is the breath of God that came into these dry bones? Isaac.
The wisdom.
Right, wisdom. Now let's see what that's going into. Go to Sirach 19, verse 20. Sirach 19, verse 20.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19 and verse 20. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law.
So in all wisdom is the performance of the law. So what did these bones that had flesh, meaning knew who they was, start doing when the breath was breathed into them? What did they start doing? Jeshurun? Right, they started performing the laws because wisdom is the breath that entered into them. And in all wisdom is the performance of the law. So the breath of life entered into them and they started performing or doing the laws of God. Everybody with me? All right, let's go back to Ezekiel 37. So that's the timeline of the Israelites waking up. It started with people being conscious, civil rights, Nation of Islam, Black Panther Party. Then, you know what I'm saying, you had brothers going out teaching we were the 12 tribes of Israel. Then You have brothers going out and teaching, hey, look, we got to keep the laws. We got to come back to the laws. Now you see people walking around with fringes and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. You see that we coming back to the laws. That's the breath. All right, read verse 10.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet.
What do this sound just like that we already read? The breath came into them and they stood on their feet. Just right. I got to make sure y'all with me.
Well, you read in Revelations when they was going to wake up, they stood up.
Exactly. So write the precept down. Revelations 11, verse 11. That's Ezekiel was already showed that aforetime. The Most High repeated it to John the Revelator. So in Ezekiel, it gives the whole timeline of the series of events and how it would happen. Everybody with me? All right, read on.
An exceeding great army.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel.
These bones are who?
The whole house of Israel.
So that lets you know who the dead bodies was in Revelation. Those were the whole house, the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, read.
Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost.
Read.
We are cut off for our parts.
Read.
Therefore, prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves.
I will cause you to wake up and repent. Read.
And cause you to come up out of your graves.
Perform the laws. Read.
And bring you into the land of Israel.
So one, after we wake up, learn our nationality, start keeping the commandments, we get brought back into our land, meaning that's the beginning of the world of Jacob, the kingdom of heaven. Everybody understand? So y'all see, we are obvious apparently in the last days. Kingdom come. Kingdom is coming because of y'all. Y'all understand that? All right, from there. Go to Micah 4, verse 10. So, with this prophesying and all of that waking up, guess what come with it? A whole lot of work. A lot of hard work. And guess what he compared this to? Micah 4, verse 10.
The book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion.
Oh, who?
Daughter of Zion.
So it say be in pain and in labor to bring forth. So, you know what I'm saying? We at the bottom, like it's in Deuteronomy 28:43. They the head, we the tail, right? So we at the bottom, we are behind all nations, below all nations. God said be in labor and pain to bring forth. Read.
Like a woman in travail.
Like a what?
A woman in travail.
That sounded like very familiar to our actual birth. You know what I'm saying? When we was in the womb, our mother was very, she was in a lot of travail. And when we came out, we had our hand on the heel of Esau, and that means what? They the end of the world, we the beginning of that which followeth. So he letting us know what we have to do to bring that to pass. Labor and pain. That's what we got to go through to wake our people up, to get them to understand. Y'all understand? Read.
For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field,
Read.
And thou shalt go even to Babylon.
To Babylon the Great, which is where? America. Read.
There shalt thou be delivered.
Oh, wait, I thought we were supposed to flee back to the land.
There shalt thou be delivered.
Most High God said, I'm going to deliver you there. You know, people talking about the 5G towers and all of that. People want to run. You know what I'm saying? They scared of the radiation killing them. They scared of martial law and all of that. God said, no, I'm going to deliver you there. You ain't going nowhere. Read.
There shalt thou be delivered.
Read.
There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies.
Let's go to John 16:21. Christ saying the same thing to his disciples. which were prophets. John 16:21.
The book of John, chapter 16 and verse 21. A woman, when she is in travail, has sorrow.
Right. So while we laboring and in pain to bring forth the kingdom, we going through some hard times. We going through it. It's not easy walking this walk in captivity, waking our people up. Because we that woman in travail. Read on.
Because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child.
As soon as she is what?
Delivered of the child.
As soon as this baby come forth and is delivered, read.
She remembereth no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world.
Right, so he using this to paint the picture of our salvation. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be, you know what I'm saying, sorrow. But, you know what I'm saying, once it come out, once it's delivered, it's delivered. It ain't no more remembrance of sorrow. Read on.
Verse 22. And ye now therefore have sorrow.
So he letting them know that parable was for y'all to understand, you disciples, you prophets. It says, ye will have sorrow. Read.
But I will see you again.
When what? When you are delivered. Read.
And your heart shall rejoice, and your joy no man taketh from you.
So now let's go to 2nd Ezra 16:37. So we see the woman in travail for Israel is in the context of enduring it to the end. You know what I'm saying? Putting in the work to wake up the people. We gonna go through a lot of what you read about the apostles and Acts and all of that. We gonna go through much tribulation to enter into the kingdom of God. That's what the woman in travail and pain mean for us. Now let's see what it mean for Esau, our twin. Read what you got.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack.
Right. The plagues draw nigh, meaning near, and are not slack, meaning they ain't gonna stop. Give me the definition of plague real quick. The plagues draw nigh. It should be the next thing. The plagues draw nigh. All praises. All right, plague. So we gonna deal with the second definition because the first one gonna go into another P word that we're going to read later. We're going to go ahead and read both of the definitions. The first one is a contagious bacterial disease characterized by fever and delirium, typically with the formation of buboes and sometimes infection of the lungs, a pneumonic plague. Did I say that right? Pneumonic?
Bubonic.
What are this? Who know the symptoms of the coronavirus? Somebody who know where is it attacking in your body? Just run. So what it's affecting?
They lungs.
Right, the lungs. So that is a plague. So God said the plagues drawing nigh and they are not slack. Now read the second definition.
Cause continual trouble or distress.
Distress too.
Oh, distress too.
To cause continual trouble or distress too. So this is what God is really saying because it's different forms of plagues, not just diseases. It's different forms of plagues. Like you'll read torture, torment, and all of that, right? So now go back to that 2nd Ezra 16:38. Like I said, the first definition gonna go into another P word, which we gonna read later. All right, read.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son.
Hold on, wait. So this is going back to that similitude of a woman bringing forth a child. All right, so in this context, it's talking about plagues, bad things. All right, very bad things. Read.
Within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment.
So these plagues represent contractions. I know most of these sisters over here, you know what I'm saying, they had children. You know, when you have contractions, like bad contractions, it's over. You at the end of the road. You finna give birth, right? That's what God said. When you see these plagues start to happening, it ain't no turning back. You know what I'm saying? It's really finna go down. It's finna be over. So the contractions, you know what I'm saying, is going into Esau being plagued. Really all the world being plagued. Y'all understand? So when these plagues happen, read.
Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Right, so sorrow. Remember that word, sorrows, the end, plagues, birth, contractions, sorrows. All right, y'all follow me, stay with me. All right, from there, go to Matthew 24, verse 3. So let's see what Christ said. Because the disciples asked a very similar question to what Esdras asked the angel. And the angel let him know, look, Esau the end of the world. He made it real plain. Christ is letting you know a series of events that's going to happen. Basically, the contractions, to make it plain. Christ is finna tell the disciples the contractions. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know we in the last days from 1969 on down. So in between that time to the very end, it's going to be a series of events. All right, read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
So the disciples asked Christ, what's the sign of the end of the world? Well, how we going to know the end is approaching? Read.
Verse 4, and Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
It's going to be a false religion in my name, Christianity, and it's going to deceive a lot of people. That's why millions of people go to church every Sunday. There's something that's happening, you know what I'm saying, that's a part of the contractions. That's like contraction 1, you know, nothing too major. You know, they've been going on, right? Read on.
Verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
So you're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. Now, we know, according to the Bible, the second woe is past, the third woe cometh quickly. So the second world war didn't already happen. Until the third war happened, the World War III happened, is going to be rumors of wars. You're going to hear like, oh, man, they just bombed this country over here. Just like America. Didn't they just bomb Iran the other day? Yeah, they just bombed Iran the other day. They was bombing Syria last year, a couple years ago. You're going to hear wars and rumors of wars, right?
See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
It's not quite the end. It's just contractions. Read.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
So nations going to rise against each other. It's going to be beef amongst nations. Read.
And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Read.
All these things are the beginning of sorrows.
Remember that word, sorrows. So it says it's going to be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes. Read the definition of famine. What is a famine? Christ said this is going to happen in the end times, in the last days. It's going to be famines. Read the definition of famine. Famines. Y'all can put it on the screen yet? All right, let's get it. Famine, an extreme scarcity of food, a shortage, hunger. Now give me the article, because some of y'all might be like, I ain't never experienced that before. That ain't happened quite yet or whatever. But this what the news don't show you. I'm sorry. It's called What a Time to Be Alive. What a Time to Be Alive. That's the name of the class. All right. So happy International Happiness Day. Despite coronavirus, famine, and locusts. All right, let's scroll down. All right.
Start from the United Nations.
Yeah. No, jump around the world. So this what the news ain't showing you, around the world.
Around the world, 100 million people are living in war zones and other emergency settings, often in cramped refugee camps with little access to sanitation and healthcare.
So this is going on currently with over 100 million people throughout the world. People are in refugee camps and war zones. Read.
He said, these legions of people are already struggling against such old-fashioned problems as food insecurity.
Or what? What's this called? We just brought it out. Famine. So these people are already suffering from famine. Read.
Cholera, measles, yellow fever.
So they already suffering from famine and pestilence, sickness. All right, read on.
Now comes the coronavirus.
Now comes the big plague, the coronavirus. Read.
As the virus reaches these places, our humanitarian colleagues warn that the consequences could be devastating.
Read.
Dujarric said. Making matters worse, relief agencies are concerned by the limited surveillance on the countries hosting these humanitarian hotspots, he said. Then there are all the desert locusts, which are marking International Happiness Day by mating in massive swarms above the Greater Horn of Africa.
So what's the high holy day that's coming up? Passover. What was one of the plagues during Passover? Well, during the Exodus. The locusts, right? So, we read that it's like a fairy tale, you know what I'm saying? We try to visualize it, whatever. But over there on that side of the world, this stuff is actually happening. They got the plague of the locusts. All right, read on.
There is widespread breeding and new swarms are starting to form, Dujarric said. As a result, this will pose an unprecedented threat to food security.
To what?
To food security.
So they already got a lack, but you know what I'm saying? They got swarms of locusts coming in and the coronavirus. So immune systems are already weak. As soon as they get hit with the virus, they going to drop dead. You know what I'm saying? And the locusts eating up all the crops. So there's famine. There's famines going on in the earth with 100 million plus people. Read on.
And livelihoods, as the next upsurge will coincide with the main cropping season across much of the region.
Y'all can drop that article. All right, so everybody understand the famines, right? Then it said the P word, pestilence. Get the pestilence definition. Now that's a screenshot. The pestilence definition. So the definition of pestilence, a fatal epidemic disease, especially bubonic plague. What is the first synonym for pestilence? Say it out loud. Y'all can't see that? Plague. Now, I want to focus on that one synonym beside the word epidemic. What that word say? Pandemic. So a pestilence, the modern day term Esau gonna use, because they're not gonna use the word pestilence. They're gonna use pandemic. If you've been watching the news, you've been hearing that word concerning coronavirus. Pandemic, that's another word for pestilence. So from there, give me the coronavirus article. I think it got a number in it. The Italy, something like that. Okay, so this is aljazeera.com. You scroll down. Coronavirus live update, 627 die in a single day in Italy. Wow. So, okay, now, you know, it's conspiracies out there. That may be true. You know, they do got the 5G out there, too. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know, hey, it is what it is. But scroll down. It say the death toll from the new coronavirus has surpassed 5,000 in Europe. The new epicenter of the pandemic. What did Esau just call the coronavirus? Pandemic. The WHO, I think the World Health Organization, officially labeled the coronavirus as a pandemic or a what? Pestilence. All right, you can drop that article. All right, you go read the article on your own. It tell you all the death tolls and stuff like that in the various countries. Now, Christ also said earthquakes in diverse places. Now give me the slew of photos that show the earthquakes in diverse places. And this was within the last 3 or 4 months. So, deadly earthquake strikes the Philippines. This is December the 15th, 2019. A few months ago. Next one. Puerto Rico. This happened when we was boarding on the Quest. The day that we boarded on the Quest ships, you had earthquakes going on. And this one going, what? 3 days? What's that? What's today? 21st. Yeah, so 3 days ago, I might have that on here. So a major earthquake strikes in the Caribbean islands. This was in January on the 28th, not too long ago. Keep going. Several dead in Turkey. This was less than a month ago, 27 days from an earthquake. Keep going. Okay, that's it. All right. Yeah, and then this one from 3 days ago. And they said that's where? In Utah. Right, the one in the, could I forget about that? In Utah, in the United States. So y'all see these is diverse places, right? Just different places all over the world. And this stuff is happening like back to back to back to back. Like contractions. All right? So read verse 7 and 8 together one more time.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow.
All these are the beginning of sorrows, meaning that's the beginning of the end. Now go to the precept in Mark. I think it's 13 and 8. Who got a 16:11? You got a 16:11. I want you, Officer Baruch, to read what's on the side. You know how they be having the little lines on the side? Read the verse and then read what's on the side. Mark 13 and 8.
The book of Mark, chapter 13 and verse 8. For nation shall arise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrow.
So it got the 2 lines beside the word sorrows. So it's finna give insight to what that word means in this scripture. Read what's on the side.
The word in the original importeth the pains of the woman in travail.
What do that mean?
The pains of a woman in travail.
So it's literally saying these are the contractions. Y'all understand that?
Drop the bomb.
Right, where the bomb at?
Where the bomb at, man?
These are the beginning of sorrows, meaning these are the contractions, the pain and travail of a woman that's in labor. That's what the earthquakes, famines, plagues, that's what all that is. That means you finna be saved. Then y'all should be jumping for joy right now, man. All right, from there, let's go to 2 Esdras 10, verse 59. So let's see who else the Most High showed these things to. These signs.
Hey, real quick, this slick proves that Esau kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
They really know.
We gonna get to that, though.
Hey,
they know they have a short time. That's what the Bible say. All right, read that.
The book of 2 Esdras, chapter 10 and verse 59. And so shall the highest show the visions of the high things, when the Most High will do unto them. no, which the Most High will do unto them that dwell upon earth in the last days.
In the what?
In the last days.
So the Most High telling Israel, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to the inhabitants of the earth in the last days. All right, from there, go to chapter 15, verse 1. I went over this last night with the soldiers and the officers, because guess what? I was not supposed to be teaching class today. That happened a lot. Well, not a lot, but it has happened before. 2nd Ezra 15, verse 1.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord.
Right, so the Most High, after he showed Ezra what would happen in the last days, he told them, look, now you prophesy to the people. All right, read on.
And cause them to be written in paper.
And cause these words to be written in paper. Hence, we have the what? The Bible. The Bible. That's who wrote the Bible, y'all, if y'all didn't know. This is actually carrying on from chapter 14 when he literally assigned him and 5 other men to rewrite the Bible. Because the Babylonians burnt them all up. So we said, cause these words to be written in paper. Read.
For they are faithful and true.
They are faithful and true. Just like it say in Romans 3, unto us were committed the oracles of God. That's, that's supposed to be like our wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's faithful and true. It's never going to fail. Keep reading.
Verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee.
So if we know the Bible faithful and true, what do people like to say about the Bible? That's the white man book. That book tampered with. All this and this and that, right? Them imaginations against you because you preaching the truth out of the Bible. Read.
Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
So God said the people that's speaking against you, they have incredulity. Let's look. That's not a Negro word at all. Let's look up that definition. Let's get that definition up there. So it say, don't let their incredulity, what it say?
Trouble thee.
Trouble you. Because a lot of y'all, y'all will be wavering and stuff. So it say incredulity. The state of being unwilling or unable to believe something. So the main synonym is what? Disbelief. That's why in Romans 3, it says, shall that unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. So we have to remember that it's going to be false doctrine. It's going to be people trying to prove the Bible is wrong. With no slave ships. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. God said, don't let that stuff trouble you. These words in here are 1,000% true. And they will come to pass. Whatever ain't happened yet, going to happen. All right? Go back to 2nd Ezra, verse 4.
Verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
All the unbelieving gonna die in their unbelief. They gonna die in Kemet. They gonna die in Islam. They gonna die in Christianity. They gonna die in Pan-Africanism. They gonna die not believing that we the Israelites. It is what it is. Just make sure you stay faithful. All right, read.
Verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world.
I will bring what?
Plagues upon the world.
So this is many evils, this is different type of plagues that the Most High gonna bring on the world. Read.
The sword.
The what?
The sword.
That's war. The sword is talking about war. Read.
Famine.
Famine. We know what famine is, right? Lack of bread. God said he's going to bring it on the earth. We just proved it in an article. 100 million people plus suffer from famines. Read.
Death.
What?
Death.
And
destruction.
So you see the death tolls rising from the coronavirus and all of that. And y'all know what's brewing in the midst of all of this, right? War. What did Donald Trump say on the clip they showed on FCN? He was like, it's just the calm before the storm. And they was like, what does that mean? He was like, you'll see. He already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump know. Read on.
Verse 6. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
So the Most High said, I'm tired of all this wickedness. I'm tired of America spreading their wickedness throughout all the earth. I'm finna put an end to it. I'm finna send these plagues. Jump down to verse 14.
Verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
War and destruction is drawing near. It's finna go down. Read.
And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands.
So I want y'all to think about what's going on right now. What just happened in California? Who can tell me? Who can tell me what just happened in Cali? Just Ryan?
They had to go on lockdown.
They had to go on lockdown, right? So that was an order by who?
The government.
The government. Okay. All right, read on.
Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And there shall be sedition among men.
Read.
And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power.
So what is sedition? What does that mean, sedition? Officer Raphael, just get the definition up. Just get the definition. All right, so the definition of sedition is conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. What's another word that encompasses state or monarch? Start with a G. Just run. Just say it out loud. Government. So inciting people to rebel against the government. Read verse 16 one more time.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men.
So God is saying in these days, with all these lockdowns and stuff like that, it ain't just gonna be no calm, peaceful. You know what I'm saying? People gonna rebel against the orders. They not gonna regard kings or princes. Y'all know that's talking about senators, governors. You know what I'm saying? President. They not gonna they not gonna care about none of that. Read on.
And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
So this how you know, but let me stop jumping the gun. Give me that article real quick. The coronavirus, the travel ban. I believe it's a click link.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right, coronavirus travel restrictions. Border shutdowns by country. This is 2 hours ago. This is headlines on the news. The Bible said, he said this faithful and true, right? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. What do we see going on in the earth today? Exactly what the Bible said. Exactly what the Bible said. Scroll down. We ain't gonna read. I just want to just give the people a view of how many borders and look at the map. Them are the people that shutting travel down. You can't go into their land because of the plague. Scroll down. Albania, Algeria, it's in alphabetical order. You can scroll fast. You see all these different places in which you cannot travel to right now. Canada, Dominican Republic, Ethiopia, Egypt, Georgia, Germany, Grenada. You see what they trying to hinder the building? They know, hey, yeah. So y'all see all the different places that got travel bans. God said that was going to happen. Let's go back to the scripts.
Verse 18.
Yes, sir.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 18.
Now remember what I said about seditions, all right? Keep that in mind as we read.
For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
What is it when you don't want to humble down to what the government told you? That's you have what? Pride. Can't nobody tell me where to go. I'm free, right? So it say, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Houses gonna be destroyed. Read verse 19.
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor,
Uh-huh.
but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread.
What is lack of bread? Famine. So because it is famine, now let me ask y'all something. If y'all go to the grocery store when the sun go down, is the shelves gonna be full of food? No. Why is that? Because people getting ready for the lockdown, right? So what's gonna happen when they run out of food? Chaos. That's what God is saying. It's finna get very chaotic in the earth. Read verse 19 again.
Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor.
I know y'all been watching the little zombie apocalypse movies and stuff over the years. You know how people get. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about your baby, your woman. You know what I'm saying? The Walking Dead, stuff like that. They don't care. They just trying to survive. They not going to pity. It ain't going to be no more pity. I got to eat. You know what I'm saying? My child got to eat. Read.
But shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods.
The word spoil means rob. People going to be getting their possession. If you got food and your neighbors don't, you getting robbed. Read.
Because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation.
Because of these plagues, it's going down. Crisis and chaos is going to be in the earth. Go to chapter 15, verse 28. What same chapter? Verse 28. Nah. Watch this. Read.
Verse 28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east.
From the east, the east, the east. That side of the world. Read.
Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
The nations of who?
Of the dragons of Arabia.
The nations of the dragons of Arabia. What they call today? Saudi Arabia. All right? Read on.
Shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble.
Read.
Verse 30. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath.
Who are the Carmanians of Isaiah? Exactly. They the ancient term for the Iranians. So, Iran. Let's read an article about Iran. Let's get that article. What it ain't about Iran, but that article. You should know what I want. It's a U.S. envoy. Yes. Now go to the last paragraph. Now we're gonna come back to this article. It says let me read the title. U.S. to send envoy to Saudi Arabia as Texas suggests oil output cut. Now let's go to the last paragraph. All right. It says you didn't. It's other articles. Scroll back up. Stay in that article and go to the last paragraph. When you scroll too far, it start other articles. All right, no. Scroll down. Just slow down, young man. Scroll down a little bit. Scroll down a little bit. All right, right there. It say Trump administration officials will continue to reduce global oil output with sanctions on what the officials call bad actors in Iran and Venezuela. So in chapter 15, verse 30, it says also the Carmanians, which are who? The Iranians, raging in wrath. Why they gonna be mad for? What they mad about?
Because they still trying to get, they trying to get their goods or whatever in the U.S. They not letting them.
Nope. Why the Iranians mad? Brother Matthew.
Shalom leadership. Didn't they kill their general or something like that?
Yeah, they did that too. Yeah.
And,
but I'm in the context of what we reading right here. This article is, I think this was some hours ago.
Because they putting sanctions on them.
They putting thank you.
Yeah,
all right, sanctions. All right, let's see what about sanctions in the Bible. All right, let's go to pull up the Wikipedia first for U.S. sanctions, because that ain't no Negro word either. We don't know what sanctions talking about. All right, scroll down. Okay, yeah, right there. Sanctions imposed by the U.S. government include ban on arms-related exports, meaning a ban on weapons, control over dual-use technology, restrictions on economic assistance, and financial restrictions. So, basically the trade of goods and services and stuff like that. If the Most High put a sanction, if the United States put a sanction on you, that means that other nations cannot help you out. All right, let's get that in the Bible. Go to Revelation 13, verse 16. Because, it is rumors. It is, a lot of maybe true speculation that they got a damn chip, right? A chip they're going to make you to get, But when the Bible talking about this right here, it ain't talking about no chip. All right, read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 16.
Now, don't take the chip. If they come with a chip, don't take the chip, y'all. But this ain't what this talking about. Read.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
So this is talking the beast. The beast is America. They causing all these nations, whether poor or small or great and rich, they got to receive this mark in their right hand and their foreheads, meaning they agree with it in their mind and they make oaths. Y'all understand? Read on.
Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
So unless you agree fully with the U.S. policies, you going to get sanctions put on you. You can't buy or sell. It will be financial restrictions to your land. Y'all understand? Now let's get that in the Bible with their forefathers. Go to 1 Maccabees 8. Now, this history is actually going into when we, we let the Romans help us. It is what it is. But they was doing this back then, all right? 1 Maccabees 8, verse 26.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 8 and verse 26. Neither shall they give anything.
So this is going into us. The agreement that we had with the Romans, it said we could not give anything unto who?
Unto them that make war upon them.
So if you do not receive the mark in your right hand and agree with the United States on their policies and you make war against them, read.
Or aid them with victuals.
When there's sanctions put on them, we can't help them. The other nations, they cannot help these countries. They can't help Iran because they have sanctions put up on them. You can't aid them with victuals, read.
Weapons.
Did we just read that in a sanction description? Weapons. You cannot help them with weapons. Read.
Money.
Read.
Or ships. As it had seemed good unto the Romans. But they shall keep their covenant without taking anything therefore.
So there's sanctions in the Bible. The Romans was putting sanctions out on nations. Look, if you're going to team up with us, you know what I'm saying? You're going to humble down to our policy. You cannot help whoever disagree because they don't have the mark. Y'all understand? Y'all show. Because there's some hard stuff right there. All right, there's U.S. sanctions in the Bible. They forefathers did it way before time. All right, let's go back to 2 Ezra 15 and 30. So Iran, they be rebelling against the U.S. and their policies. So Trump and them, they put sanctions on them. So it's a lot of nations that cannot help them out, cannot aid them with weapons, economic assistance, so on and so forth. So therefore, read verse 30 again.
2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 30. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath.
So therefore they are pissed off. The Iranians are very upset about these sanctions. He's constantly stepping it up, notch after notch. And they mad. Read.
Shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood.
The what?
The wild boars of the wood.
Remember that word, wild. as the wild boars of the wood. Read.
And with great power shall they come and join battle with them.
And join battle with the Arabians. Read.
And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians.
Come on.
And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature.
Doing what?
Remembering their nature.
So what is the nature of the Middle Eastern Arab people in them, the Arabs and Iranians? What's their nature? Brother Matthew.
In the Genesis 49, verse 8.
No, sir. Come on, bro. It's Judah. I'm sorry for you.
Genesis 16 and 11.
Thank you, sir. Let's get that, Officer Jonah.
The book of Genesis. Wow.
So remember, you got to think, in order for them to let America do these things unto them, obviously they have forgotten their nature. God said when this stuff start happening, the most sanctions they get, they going to get enraged and they going to remember their nature. They going to remember how God created them. Watch this, read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 16 and verse 11. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael.
Who?
Ishmael.
Ishmael. So the biblical name for the Arabs and the Iranians is what? Ishmael. That's who they are. Ishmaelites. Read.
Because the Lord hath heard thy affliction.
Watch what God say about these folk. Read.
And he will be a wild man.
He will be a what?
A wild man.
He will be a wild man. Where Bishop always say, strap C4 to their chest and say, kingdom come, Allah Akbar, and bomb the whole damn strip. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do, because they wild like that. The Most High said, when these sanctions and stuff get put on them, they going to remember their nature. They going to turn up. Read.
His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him.
So he gonna have that mindset, it's me against, I'm going to war with everybody. So when the Arabs get the shooting their missiles and all of that, they ain't picking no side. They hand gonna be against every man. Read.
And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
That's why they all in the Middle East. Go back. Yeah, exactly. We scattered all across the earth. Black folks talking about Ishmael. Sit down, Jake. Where we at? 2nd Ezra 15:31.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 31. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature.
Right, so these dragons, talking about the dragons of Arabia and Iran, they going to remember they wild men. We go to war with anybody. All right, read.
And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them.
So you see this stuff unfolding before your very eyes. Why? I'm telling you, the Arabs, Iran, they finna team up and turn up. All right, from there, go to chapter 16, verse 17.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
In the last days, read.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings.
The what?
The beginning of sorrows.
Ain't that the same thing Christ said? The beginning of the contractions, read.
And great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
Famine and great death, read.
The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
Read.
The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
So God said he's sending famine, plagues, tribulation, anguish, war, pestilence, earthquakes, as scourges for amendment. What do amendment mean? Huh? What does the word amendment mean? Brother Matthew.
When you amended something, you that's a right. You got a right to do that. Like God has given that those things that are gonna happen.
Not necessarily. What do amend mean? The word amend. The word amend, we ain't got to get it, but it means to change. To change. Amendment means a change. So God said he's sending these plagues and destruction on the earth for the people to change. But watch what happened, read.
But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness.
But after you can read about it right now. What they focused on is making the economy boom after the plague is over. You know what I'm saying? They pride have deceived them. You see what I'm saying? They literally don't. They not gonna change because they think they in control. They think, oh, this is gonna pass like the Great Depression, and we gonna be back on top. And God's sending these plagues for them to change the same way he did with Pharaoh. But what was he doing with Pharaoh? Hard in his heart. Pharaoh be like, all right, I'm gonna let y'all go, I'm sorry. No, never mind, y'all let stand in slavery. That's the same way he doing with Esau. You read about that in Romans 9. Read on.
Nor be always mindful of the scourges.
So they not gonna care. After these things come to pass, they not gonna give us reparations. They not gonna try to put us in our land and take the fake Jews out. They not gonna do none of this stuff, even though they ought to, knowing that the Most High destroying them for what they doing to us, but they not gonna change. Hold that, go to Revelation 16, verse 11. John the Revelator saw the same thing. Revelation 16, verse 11. So this after the plagues, guess what? Read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 16 and verse 11. And blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pain.
Because of all their coronavirus victims, you know what I'm saying, radiation victims, the wars and stuff that's going to happen, they going to be blaspheming the name of God because of the pains, because of their suffering, because of the scourges. But read on.
And their sores, and repented not of their deeds.
But they not going to repent. They not going to change. That's the same thing he told Esdras. The scourges going to get up on them, for them to change, but they would not change. They not going to repent. Let's go back to 2 Esdras 16. Now let's read 21.
The book of 2 Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon the earth.
Stop right there. So, I know some of y'all, old, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all older. But I know in my lifetime, whoever seen gas prices this low? Look, one guy. $1.69, you seen that? Yeah. Okay, all praise. But, you know what I'm saying, just 2-3 years ago, the gas, it was $3 a gallon. You know what I'm saying? So it says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap up on earth, read.
That they shall think themselves to be in good case.
I know a lot of y'all, when y'all seen that on the, you know what I'm saying, on the highway, the gas signs, you was like, oh, okay. All praises. You know what I'm saying? You felt good about that thing. Say you see these prices getting lower and all of that, you going to think to be in good case, but read on.
And even then shall evils grow upon the earth.
But when that stuff is going on, you see prices dropping and all of that, no evils are growing on the earth. Them contractions getting worse. Read.
Sword, famine, and great confusion.
War, famine, and great confusion. Now give me that article again. This is what the article was actually about. So y'all think it's in good case because the oil price is dropping, gas price is dropping. Gas. Come on, man, with the article. Y'all get it?
You talking about the one that we were just
Yeah.
on?
Yeah. No, that's not an article. U.S. envoy.
It's on there.
Okay. All right, go back to the top of it. I think, yes, second paragraph. So it said U.S. to send envoy to Saudi Arabia as Texas suggests oil output cut. If y'all don't know, you know what I'm saying, Texas, one of the, you know, that's like the state with all the oil rigs and all of that. Now go to the second paragraph. So remember, it said we think to be in good case, but this was really going on. It say oil prices have lost more than half their value in the last 2 weeks as Saudi and Russia kicked off a price war, and the coronavirus pandemic destroyed demand. So we see it as a good thing. But the nations know, hell no, this is not good at all. We finna go to war. You know what I'm saying? This is a oil market crash that's happening in the world right now. Y'all understand that? So don't think that it's gonna be all good because the gas price is dropping. That means evil's finna grow up on the earth. Now let's go to Revelation 12 and 12. Revelation 12 and 12. So we just read the prophecies about, you know what I'm saying, pestilence, famine, earthquakes, and all of that, plagues upon the heathen and all of that. They know when this stuff is happening, you know what I'm saying, they running out of time. The Most High finna destroy their kingdom. But guess what they do? Since they can't do nothing to God, they arms too short to box with God, they gonna be pissed off at the sons of God. All right, Revelation 12, verse 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you.
Who is the devil? Esau. It say the devil is come down unto you, read.
Having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
So he gonna come down unto us, the remnant of the seed that's keeping the commandments, with great wrath, because he know he don't got much time left. So let's go to 2 Ezra 16 and 70. I went over this in the class. Who remember the class I did called the persecution of the saints? So, you know what I'm saying, when you read in Matthew 24, after he mentioned the famines, pestilence, earthquakes, and all of that, and he say these the beginning of sorrows, he say after that they gonna kill you, persecute you. You know what I'm saying? So all that's coming too. I just want y'all to understand that. But I ain't, I already did the class, so I ain't gonna go too deep into that. But read that.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 70.
Uh-huh.
For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
Right, it's going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, meaning persecution is coming to the Israelites that's waking up, standing on their feet in these last days. They know we really the real reason why their time getting short. So they gonna persecute us. Jump down to verse 74.
Verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand.
So the days of famine, pestilence, earthquakes, and persecution are at hand. They happening. They here. Read.
But I will deliver you from the same.
I will what?
Deliver you from the same.
So just know, with the days of trouble being present, deliverance is next. Y'all understand? Deliverance is next. From there, go to Luke 21:28. This will come in one of my favorite scriptures as we're approaching the end of the world. Watch what Christ told his disciples.
The book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 28. And when these things begin to come to pass.
So when you see the Carmanians, the Iranians remembering their nature, when you see coronavirus killing people, you see people rebelling against the lockdowns set up by the government. When you see these things happening, read.
Then look up.
Then do what?
Look up.
Look up, read.
And lift up your heads.
Uh-huh.
For your redemption draweth nigh.
Your Savior finna crack the sky very soon. It's drawing very near. Y'all see all these things we brought out, this stuff on the news. I'm talking about articles 2 hours ago, 8 hours ago. Y'all understand? And when y'all see these things happening, know the Black Messiah on the way. Y'all understand? All right, from there, go to 2 Ezra 16:75. Hey, so look, I'm telling y'all, look, times finna get harder. The world finna it ain't going up again from here. I'm just letting y'all know. You know what I'm saying? For real. If you had dreams and aspirations, the American dream and all of that, it's getting crushed. I'm sorry. Sorry to tell you. All right, 2nd Ezra 16:75.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 75. Be ye not afraid.
Do what?
Be ye not afraid.
Because if you get to watching all these videos, looking at all these articles, you know what I'm saying, and you're not really studying like you should, you're going to get scared of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get scared of these diseases. You're going to get scared of these earthquakes. You know, we on one of the biggest faults in the world. You know what I'm saying? Arkansas should be scared, but not us. Because God told us to be not afraid, read.
Neither doubt.
Don't doubt. Remember, these words that's written in paper are faithful and true. Everything that's written, a lot of it already happening, is happening, and will happen. So don't doubt. Don't let doubt creep up in your spirit. Read.
For God is your guide.
God is your guide. Through these hard, these perilous times, and these last days, God is going to guide us. So don't join no clique with, that's getting all the AKs and stuff from the weaponry stores. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to start your own militia to rebellion. No! God is going to guide us, all right? Go to Isaiah 33, verse 6. Because a lot of people, it's people that was in the world that was looking into this stuff, watching the YouTube videos and stuff like that. And in their mind, they had to get all the bullets, you know what I'm saying, to stack up all type of canned food and all of that way before the truth. You know what I'm saying? But now we understand that God is our God. God gonna guide us through these times, all right? Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
So the only thing that's going to keep us stable in these last days, keep us from falling off back into the world, is wisdom and knowledge. Wisdom and knowledge. That's the stability of our times in these last days. Read.
And strength of salvation.
And wisdom is also the strength of our salvation. Not your guns. You know what I'm saying? Not your underground ditch you didn't try to dig like the white man. You know what I'm saying? No. The word of God, wisdom, is the strength of your salvation. Read.
For the fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Now go to Sirach 1 verse 5. Let's see what this wisdom coming from. That's our stability. What's going to keep us stable with all this chaos going on.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1 and verse 5. The word of God most high is the fountain of wisdom.
So the word of God, meaning the Bible, is the fountain of wisdom. That's where wisdom comes from. So when they say wisdom going to be the stability of your times, it's talking about this Bible. This is the only thing that's going to keep us stable. This is the only thing that's going to keep us from bugging out. Because we're going to see a lot of strange things take place in this earth. For real. It's getting stranger and stranger by the second. But the only thing that's going to keep you stable is the word of God, the fountain of wisdom. Wisdom, the Bible. From there, go to Wisdom of Solomon 8, verse 1. Wisdom of Solomon 8 goes so hard. Read that.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8 and verse 1. Wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly doth she order all things.
So wisdom is referred to as a what? A she. All right, jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. If a man desire much experience, she knoweth things of old.
Right, so if you want to learn, you know what I'm saying, how to handle situations, you know what I'm saying, you want, based on experience, you go to the Bible. She, meaning wisdom, knoweth things of old. Read. Come on.
And considereth.
And conjectureth.
And conjectureth aright what is to come.
Meaning it predicts aright what's going to happen. 350 years. I'm talking about Most High hit the damn pinpoint. The dart in the middle. 1969. And it's crazy how the digits like just switched around. Like 1619, 1969. No, it's not necessarily. Which I get the point. You know what I'm saying? 350 years literally is when from thence Esau kingdom started falling and when Jacob started waking up. That's literally that 350. Man, that's so hard. Man. All right. It trajectory a right what is to come. Meaning it predicts stuff and it be right. It's faithful and true, read.
She knoweth the subtleties of speeches and can expound dark sentences.
Like the Revelation. Who would know dead bodies, spiritual Egypt, Sodom? Church could never, ever explain that. It's too dark for them. They blind. It's sealed. I don't know what that means. Read.
She foreseeth signs and wonders.
She do what?
Foreseeth signs and wonders.
And what else?
And the events of seasons and times.
So that's how we know the Arabs gonna team up and turn up. That's how we know it's gonna be a sedition, a rebellion against the government. That's how we know the devil gonna have great wrath and persecute us, because it foresees the events of seasons and times. That's why a coronavirus didn't just come somewhere out of the sky. God said, I'm gonna send pestilence. Y'all understand? That's wisdom. Read.
Verse 9. Therefore, I purpose to take her to me.
So Solomon was like, man, I seen all the benefits that came with wisdom. And I said, I gotta have her. She gotta be mine. You know what I'm saying? That's how all of us should be. We should all be pursuing wisdom like we pursued our biggest crush we ever had. Going even further than that. Y'all understand? That's what Solomon is saying. I had to pull her. Read.
To live with her, knowing that she would be a counselor of good things.
To live with me. Read verse 9 again.
Verse 9. Therefore I purpose to take her to me, to live with me, knowing that she would be a counselor of good things.
So another word, remember in 2 Ezra 16, it said God is our what? Guide. Exactly. Another word for guide, or when you went to school, what did you have? A guidance counselor. Y'all see what I'm getting at? So God said wisdom is your counselor of good things, meaning the decisions you make when this stuff is going on in the world should be based on the wisdom of the Bible. Because that is your counselor. Y'all remember that. Read on.
And a comfort in cares and grief.
And a comfort in cares and grief. Now that sounds very familiar, doesn't it? I think that's this brother's favorite scripture. Let's get that. Romans 15, verse 4. So it's going to make it plain what this wisdom is, what this she is. Because it said it would be a comfort in cares and grief, meaning in the midst of all this chaos and crisis, you're going to have wisdom to comfort you. Read that.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Right, so the things written in paper aforetime was written for our learning. So when we make decisions, we can go in the Bible and see how our forefathers handled them and apply that same wisdom, or see how our forefathers failed and apply that wisdom to succeed. That's why Joshua 1:8 say what it say. Read on.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
So notice it say patience and comfort of the scriptures. When stuff pop off like this, chaos and crisis, a lot of people get impatient. A lot of people fold under pressure. God said you got to have patience and comfort of the scriptures, knowing when the days of trouble are at hand, that means your deliverance is next. And when you get delivered, like Christ said, it ain't going to be no remembrance of the sorrows you went through. So that's what should comfort you. Knowing that the destruction of your enemies, the destruction of this world is the beginning of your world. Y'all understand that? Did I finish that? Yeah. All right, so let's get an example. Go to Isaiah 30 and verse 1. So it said, wisdom is our counselor and our comfort. But, you know what I'm saying, when we was in situations like these before, we didn't follow the Most High counsel. I'm gonna see what brother been paying attention on study call. I read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord. that take counsel, but not of me.
Right, so the children of Israel at this time was taking counsel, but not from God, meaning not from the Bible, not from the fountain of wisdom. Read.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
Watch this.
That walk to go down into Egypt.
So, in times of trouble that they going through, instead of going to the Bible for counsel and comfort, they went to Egypt. To Egypt, read.
And have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
So what history exactly is this referring to? Who knows? I went over this on the study card. What history is this actually going into? All right, let's go to 2 Kings 17, verse 1. So, Israel in a hard situation. And instead of going to counsel from the Lord, they went to Egypt to help them. Watch this. 2 Kings 17, start at 1.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 17 and verse 1. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years.
Read.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord.
So Hoshea was a wicked king of the northern kingdom of Israel. So he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. Y'all think he took counsel from the Lord? No. Read on.
But not as the kings of Israel that were before him.
Come on.
Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria.
Right, this Shalmaneser the fifth. Against him came up Shalmaneser the fifth, king of Assyria. Read.
And Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents.
So the brother was wicked. You know what I'm saying? The Most High sent the nation against us, and they put us under tribute. So Hoshea became his servant, meaning he had to pay him tribute every year. Now watch this. Read.
Verse 4. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea.
So after a while, the king of Assyria found out that Hoshea had some slick stuff going on. All right, read.
For he had sent messengers to the king of Egypt and
read that right. For he had
sent messengers to, I say so?
Yeah.
For he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt.
That was the name of that king, So. Like, you know what I'm saying? Chief Keef nickname, Almighty So. So was the king of Egypt, and instead of us going to the Lord, he went to So, the king of Egypt, for help. Y'all see where I'm going with this. All right, read on.
And brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year.
Right, so he is basically partaking in sedition. He discontinuing his yearly tribute to the king. He not fulfilling it no more, read.
Therefore, the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison.
Right, so he added sin unto sin, and the Most High put him in prison. And it pissed the king of Assyria off, and he went and besieged Samaria and fully conquered it. He took all the northern kingdom captive. All right, let's go back to Isaiah chapter 30. So now we know, in times like this, you know what I'm saying, when the oppressor got us in a headlock, it ain't meant for us to try to find other avenues, you know what I'm saying, to fight against the enemy. You got to take counsel from the Lord. In his mind, they was going to fight against the heathen and break loose. But that ain't what the Most High had planned. Watch this. Read verse 7.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. For the Egyptians saw help in vain and to no purpose.
So the Egyptians' help is going to be helpless. It's going to be meaningless. Read.
Therefore have I cried concerning this.
Watch what our strength is. Read.
Their strength is to sit still.
So the Most High said, y'all don't need to be trying to collaborate with other people and all of that and rebel against the powers that be. Y'all strength is to sit still. Sit still. You know this flee doctrine. We got to go. We're out of here. Let's get guns. Let's fight them. Let's be sovereign. No. God says sit down. All right, sit still. That's what our strength is. Now think about it. When we sit still as Israelites united in Christ, what do we do when we sit still? Huh? Who said that? Study. Study. Who be running and studying? Who can do that? Can you run and study out? No. Your strength is to sit still and study this Bible. This is your counselor and your comfort. Y'all understand that? All right, from there, let's go to 2 Chronicles 20 and 17. Let's get the precept. So we just read about a wicked king not following the counsel of the Lord. These are the things written aforetime for our learning, for us to apply in these days in similar situations. So we read about the wicked king that didn't take counsel of the Lord, tried to get help from Egypt, and failed. Now let's see what somebody did follow the counsel of the Lord. Read that.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 20 and verse 17.
Now this is King Jehoshaphat from the tribe of Judah. All right, read.
Ye shall not need to fight in this battle.
God said what?
Ye shall not need to fight in this battle.
This ain't your fight. The other nations, they literally, what they have going on has nothing to do with us, literally. This is not our fight. Read on.
Set yourselves, stand ye still.
Do what?
Set yourselves, stand ye still.
God says, stand ye still, because that is your what? Your strength. Read on.
And see the salvation of the Lord with you.
And do what?
And see the salvation of the Lord with you.
Zechariah 4 and 6 say it ain't going to be by our might or our power, but by his spirit. We need to sit back and watch the Lord save us. It's not our fight. Read on.
O Judah and Jerusalem, fear not, nor be dismayed.
Read.
Tomorrow go out against them, for the Lord will be with you.
Now, when you continue reading the history, when they went out the next day, the other nations killed each other off, so they didn't have to lift a finger. This sound a lot like today, right? With the world war, when the nations killing each other, we ain't gonna have to do none of that. We ain't gonna have to partake in none of that. The Most High gonna wipe them all out. All right, from there. Let's go to Lamentations 3:26. So that's counsel, you know what I'm saying, from the Bible. Look, sit down, sit still. Don't be frantic and all of that because you see these things happening, because we in the days of trouble. Sit still, study, you know what I'm saying? Build your faith up. So you know when these things come to pass, you can look up and your salvation is there. Read what you got.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 3 and verse 26. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord.
God said it's good for us to quietly wait and hope for the salvation of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's good for us to do. We ain't got to do nothing but sit back and wait and watch. Continue watching these prophecies unfold. Stay in the spirit. Keep the commandments. All right? And your salvation going to come. This ain't your fight. All right? Go to 1 Thessalonians 5 and 2. This right here going to bring everything home. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 2.
The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Everybody in this room should know that scripture. You know what I'm saying? That the Lord coming as a thief in the night. In 2 Peter 3 and 10, we know that the Lord coming to save us, and it's going to be out of nowhere. Read on.
Verse 3. For when they shall say, peace and safety.
So when the nations shall say peace and safety, when they think they're going to be recovering from the coronavirus depression and the pestilence and the famine and the earthquakes and the wars, read.
Then sudden destruction cometh upon them.
Then sudden destruction coming upon them, meaning Christ going to return with flames of fire. Read.
As travail upon a woman with child.
What?
As travail upon a woman with child.
When that baby getting delivered. Y'all see that? Y'all see how all that stuff is really based on Genesis 25. It's crazy. All right? It say the destruction going to come upon them as a woman with child. When we getting delivered, they getting destruction. Read.
and they shall not escape.
They not going to be able to run, hide nowhere. It's no getting away from the Black Messiah and his army, his troops. They going to invade, and it's going down. It's going to be a lot of bloodshed on the earth. They not going to escape it. Read.
But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief.
So we not sleeping here, right? We not in here worried about, you know what I'm saying, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, and you know what I'm saying? We ain't worried about what's some more worldly stuff. Let me see. March Madness. We ain't worried about March Madness. We ain't worried about the NBA being postponed indefinitely. You know what I'm saying? We awoke in here. We the real woke. You know what I'm saying? Meaning awoken to righteousness. Read.
Verse 5. Ye are all the children of light, and the children of the day.
Right, the children of light. Who know what light is? Light. Brother Isaac.
Proverbs 6:23.
Right, the laws. We the children of the laws. We the ones keeping the laws. We are the light of the world, the Israelites. You understand? We the light. We not in darkness. We not caught up in the sins and wickedness of this world. Read.
We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep.
So don't be rocked to sleep by these popular persuasions and commotions and, you know what I'm saying, chaos and crisis that happen in the earth. Don't go back into the world. Don't go back to sleep. Read.
As do others. But let us watch.
Let us what?
Let us watch.
Let us be. You see, we on a real timeline. God got it all laid out. All we got to do is sit still and watch. Read.
And be sober.
And be sober, meaning clear-minded. To get the purge the leaven out of your spirit. You got hatred or a grudge against your brother, get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't clear-minded. We going over a class, you know what I'm saying, about like some real deal stuff that been sealed for thousands of years. The greatest news ever. You know what I'm saying? The whole mathematical equations being broke down by God. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, we seen this stuff unfold, but you got people in the crowd, the one thing on their mind is, I don't like him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not enjoying it. I'm not taking notes, listening to anything, because I don't like dude like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like this sister sitting next to me. I don't like this sister on the front row. You know what I'm saying? This brother behind me, man, dude, he offended me last week. You know what I'm saying? Emmanuel was mean to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, you ain't sober-minded. You not sober-minded. You got to clear your head of all the BS and watch and sit still as our salvation unfold. Everybody understand that? All right, so go ahead. Officer Baruch, you got something? Go ahead.
Hey, can you go to Proverbs 18 real quick? I ain't got much, but just going. Because during these times, we got to realize the Most High got us. All right. Proverbs 18 and verse 10.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 18 and verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe.
And is safe. So meaning we got to go to the laws of God, right? So we can make sure we protected under that shelter of him. He said the righteous run to him. Now, you mentioned something about running earlier, but the running, what we do, right, we make haste to keep the commandments. That's what we must do. We got to run to the laws of God so we can be safe. All right, go to Psalms 9 and 9. Psalms 9 and 9.
The book of Psalms, chapter 9 and verse 9. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed.
He's going to be a what?
A refuge for the oppressed.
So who are the oppressed? The Israelites, right? He said he's going to be that refuge for the oppressed. Read on.
A refuge in times of trouble. And they that know thy name.
He said a refuge in times of trouble. We at the end of days, right? The trouble is coming. The ones that had took the understanding, ran to the Most High, those are going to be the ones that are going to be saved when Christ returns. When the nukes drop down, he's going to be like, okay, let's see who actually took who hearkened, who remembered the scriptures, read in the book, and followed after me. Did all of what the book has said and followed after me. Those are ones I need to grab and pick up. Remember, he said in the times of trouble. Read it from the top again.
Verse 9. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed,
Uh-huh.
a refuge in times of trouble.
Uh-huh.
And they that know thy name will put their trust in thee.
Uh-huh.
For thou...
So, meaning all the works that he's done, we're going to what? We know the same way he saved us out of Egypt is what? The same way he's going to save us out of this place right here, Babylon the Great. He says, though the ones that the name, meaning the reputation that we've known him by to save Israel, to have mercy for Israel. Read it again, come on.
And they that know thy name will put their trust in thee.
We going to what?
Trust in thee.
Because we read it. It's the comfort from the scriptures before. We got to put our trust in him. So, because like he's saying, man, it ain't nothing to be afraid of. The scriptures tell you to what? What it say? Hope. It says, what it say? Good man shall have hope and quietly wait. We got to wait for the judgments, for everything to go and play through. But when you waiting, you got to what? Have patience, sit and what you say, brothers at home, sit still and study. Stay in them scriptures. You at home, study. He said some heavy stuff last night, man. It's really heavy. We really got to hearken to the words of God. We got to make sure, hey, these scriptures right here is for us, for our learning, to help us, save us when we apply these commandments. We will be saved. Because we know how Christ returning? Like a thief in the night. So we don't know when. So that means at these last days, we got to stay in this. We got to stay doing the work. We got to labor in pain. All the things that was written, we must follow these.
Oh, pray. I got 2 more scriptures. I can't believe I got through all of that. Oh, praise. Even with the technical difficulties, I got through all of this stuff. So I got room for a couple more. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 9. So, yeah, that's our praise to the Most High. The Most High finna force brothers and sisters to study. You know, put you on lockdown. You know what I'm saying? He gonna force you to get on study calls now.
Now, you know what it is, bro? It's either going to be forced to study or you going to let that idle time destroy you, because ain't no sports now, right? But what brothers do? I got basketball on my video game. I got cable still. I ain't really. YouTube. Brothers going to be forgetting about the thing that's. Remember, when the famine come, what else is the famine talking about, y'all? We ain't gonna be out on the streets. We're gonna be stuck in the house.
Hey, that's heavy right there. So if you on lockdown in the house and you don't study, you basically saying like, kill me, God. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go. Cause then you gonna fall back, you gonna what it said in the scripture. It said you gonna fall away. You gonna fall back into the world. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna endure to the end, because this is the strength of your salvation. How you gonna get through it? You ain't pumping iron. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because we know this is our food, right?
Yeah.
So when them brothers run out of food in their house, that real food, they ain't even thinking about it. They done ran out of food. Now they running to other people's house and forgot all the laws.
They forgot all. I'm telling y'all, when that's their Mark 4. When persecution arises, they gonna turn their back on this truth. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all that don't study, y'all gonna get put to the test and get rooted out, because you ain't rooted yourself. All right, 2nd Ezra 9 and 7.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 7.
Start at 6.
Verse 6.
Start at 5.
Verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
So the end is manifest. We know it's going to be what? Plagues, famine, earthquake, pestilence, war. The end is at hand. It's manifest. Read.
Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs.
Endings and effects and signs. We see the signs. We see the end coming. Read.
And every one that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works.
So that's how you going to escape all of these plagues, famine, destruction, war. You know what I'm saying? You're going to escape by your works and what else?
And by faith.
And by faith. And faith coming by hearing, and hearing by the what? Word of God. Read.
Whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils.
So all of the perils that we went over today, perils mean danger. So the danger of the lack of bread, the danger of people breaking in houses and spoiling people goods and putting people to death without pity. You know what I'm saying? All of that, you're going to be preserved from it if you putting in the work and you got the faith. Read.
And shall see my salvation.
And we the ones that's going to see his salvation. The ones that's putting in the work and have their faith built up in these scriptures. We the ones that's going to see the salvation, not the people that that's going to rebel against, you know what I'm saying, FEMA and the marshals. And you know what I'm saying? They not going to see salvation. They going to look brave and mighty until they get put to death by the drones or something. You know what I'm saying? For real, they not going to see his salvation. It's the ones that sit still, stay in his Bible, believe, and wait for the Lord to save them. Read.
In my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Right, it's a chosen, selected few. It's spirits that's ordained to endure this thing. So it's going to be trials and stuff to make manifest who is approved. Who is that chosen from the beginning? All right, Psalms 91, verse 1. Bishop been bringing that. Everybody been bringing this out. That's why I left it out of my class. I was like, I got to fit this other stuff in here. But this the hottest scripture on the earth right now. This the hottest passage in the Bible, hands down, pertaining to what's going on. It's fire. Read what you got. What's up? What's up?
Hey, because I think I was talking to somebody earlier. You know, when we read Jude, what did it say? Jude 22, it says, and some have compassion, making what I want, actually.
And some
yeah. Some would say with fear, and some say with compassion. So think about this. Like what you was bringing out, some people got to be like, it's time for, if you you got to be afraid if you mess up right now. So what we read now is some compassion for the brothers that's keeping the commandments. You got to be afraid of what if you mess up right now.
Man, examine yourself, man. I'm telling you, got hatred, strife, variance. Man, it's over with. Read what you got.
Psalms chapter 91 and verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High.
What's the secret place of the Most High? Brother Abraham.
Great book they call the Bible.
Exactly. Bishop broke it down on one of his recent classes, Amos 3 and 7, Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things is these things in the Bible, these parables, this understanding. The world, this is not manifest to the rest of the world. When we in these scriptures, we in the secret place of the Most High. Read.
Shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Come on.
I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress.
So you ain't finna run to no other nation or no U.S. embassy somewhere. No, the Most High God is your refuge and your fortress. That's your protection. Read.
My God, in him will I trust.
Come on.
Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence.
So he gonna deliver us from the traps set up by the government and the noisome pestilence. These man-made diseases that they making in these laboratories to infect our people. Most High already making it backfire on them. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High said he gonna deliver us from that. He gonna deliver us from the coronavirus. He gonna deliver us from whatever the hell else they come up with in their labs. You know what I'm saying? Guys, that's what God said. You gotta believe it. Read.
Verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
That's what it means when it's saying Ephesians 6, put on the whole armor of God. That's his truth, his laws. That's your shield and your buckler, your protection, your armor. Read.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night.
Because it's going to be terror going on at night. It's going to be crisis and chaos. People going to be losing their damn mind. Nations going to be dropping bombs on each other. But you ain't going to be scared. Because you know that means your salvation draweth nigh. Your Savior finna come out that sky any given second. So you ain't scared, read.
Nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
That ain't talking about a little pume arrow. That's talking about missiles. It's going to be missiles flying by day. For real, read.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
Nor for the what?
The pestilence that walketh in darkness.
So who in here is scared of the coronavirus? Exactly. Because the Most High said we ain't going to be afraid of that thing. We the Israelites, we protected by his truth, the commandments. We not going to be afraid of that pestilence. Read.
Nor for the destruction.
Or that pandemic. Read.
Nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
So the Most High let us know, you know what I'm saying, at what point in day the big World War III going to go down. At noonday. At noonday. Read.
1,000 shall fall at thy side.
So when destruction is happening, you're going to see 1,000 people drop dead and die on your right side. Read.
And 10,000 at thy right side.
On your left side. And 10,000 at your right side. You're going to look one way, people dying. You're going to look the other way, more people dying. Read.
But it shall not come nigh thee.
But you ain't going to be touched. Not a hair of your head shall perish. That's what Christ told the disciples. Not one hair of your head shall perish. Read.
Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
See the destruction of these nations. Read.
Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
Right. You have made the Most High your refuge and your habitation, your secret place, your hiding place, your embassy. Y'all understand? That's how you're going to be preserved from all of this. Read on.
Verse 10, there shall no evil befall thee.
There shall no what?
No evil befall thee.
Read.
Neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
Neither shall any plague. All of these evils that we read going to happen to the earth. None of it is going to come near your dwelling. Read.
For he shall give his angels charge over thee.
That's why the scriptures say we walk by faith and not by sight. Who in here can see angels? Exactly. He said the reason what's going to be protecting us from all of that is his angels that have charge over us. You see what I'm saying? That's amazing. That's beautiful. Man, I'm so glad he our God. I'm so happy to be an Israelite, but it is amazing, man. We got invisible angels protecting us from pestilence and fire and flames and destruction. Read.
To keep thee in all thy ways.
The angels going to keep us and protect us in all our ways during these last days. That should be I'm telling y'all, man, what y'all seeing on the news and all of that, man, y'all should be jumping for joy. Y'all should be excited and happy knowing our kingdom is coming near. That baby finna be delivered. Zion is finna be brought forth. For real, we in the contractions right now, y'all.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.